fuck a bitch.
With a bit of detangling mist. I'm going to start off with a section right down the middle. Just going from the upper recession line. Twist them wee bad boys out of the way. I'm going to take that pretty much into a horseshoe section, but rather than right round around the crown, we're going to bring it just down into a point above the occipital bone, and that'll give us a bit of leeway when it comes to the disconnection between the layers and length. Leaving us with the length and not the layers. I'm going to take a section just below the occipital bone, and we're going to point cut into the edges to create a nice soft broken up textured line. And we're going to bring that right up to the next section, which brings us into the layers that we've clipped away. The haircut itself, just over direct that hair at the sides back around and maintain a bit more length. As you can see, keep the front sections separate. Now, once all the length's been cut around the back, then we're taking down our disconnected layered sections. We're going to find out where the longest part of the length is, and we're going to then work from the bottom up the way. And we're really just going to break into that haircut and shadow the ends. Visually checking that we are making enough impact with the layers. Moving on, in orange segment sections around the head with no over direction back onto the previous section. just continue to point cut deep into them edges to remove texture or add texture and remove the density and bulk at the end. More point cutting. So much point cutting. So much hair. All on the floor. Mullet. Just checking the natural flow and the natural lie of the hair. Give it a bit of a shake, make sure that we've got enough movement coming in. Now we're going to make a wee start on the sides, and we're just going to work from the face towards the back, taking a very fine section along the hairline, and we're just going to pull that out and elevate it very gently down. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a lot of shape in a very small area. That puts a guideline in, and then we're going to bring that up and widen that area towards the face, and that's just going to break a wee tiny bit further into the haircut itself, but still maintain a bit of length. Continuing to point cut. Now you can start to see the hair working away from the face, gradually getting longer till it joins into that length in the back. Most mullets you would normally shave the sides off or have them ridiculously short. For this we're just looking at something very subtle. With my client's texture of hair, having this area too short would just, create a lot of bulk and a lot of thickness unless we took it in super short. So it's safer to leave it a bit longer and go back and maybe trim it up a wee bit shorter afterwards. Plus we need to leave enough length for a lot more texturizing and a lot more weight and bulk removal. Just over directing that section from the back of the head into the front section of that haircut, and that just gives us that nice gentle blend from short to long, from the front to the back, and just tucking that behind the ear, because that's the idea is that it looks shorter than what it really is because of the density and the natural thickness of the hair. We don't want it being too puffy. Bring that out, down, and point cut. That gives us our basic guideline and shape, and then we're just going to work that next section on top of it, over directing it once. And then we're going to go a wee bit deeper into the haircut itself on the point cutting. Bringing it up, take a wee tiny bit more weight while not jeopardizing too much of the length. As you can see, every section is directed one section forward, and that gives it a softer graduation from short to long. Just checking visually how everything's coming along. Pin that out of the way. Pin that out of the way. Lift out the top section. And now we're looking to create a guideline down the centre part of the head, dictating how short the layers are going to be. And we're going to blend them in with the layers at the back. More point cutting. Next section, I'm taking a wee bit of the previous section and a bit of new hair and using the previous section as a guideline. Ensuring that the hair is combed about 47 times to ensure that the tension is right. If it was combed 46 times, it may not be right. If everybody would like to take a wee minute and appreciate my new hoodie, that would be great. Fucking point cutting. That's my I'm winging this phase. Only joking, I have a rough idea of what I'm doing. It's not the first haircut. And then just checking the visual lie of the hair. Clip out the excess hair, and we're going to take the fringe into a triangle section. That's me just checking that we're going to be short enough, but not too short. Keeping the tension correct. Bring that right down, stand in front of the camera, and then point cut very gently into the front. This is going to be used as our average guideline for the front, and now each section is going to be taken forward. That bit at the very bottom is the guideline, and then I can take the rest of the weight out, which is up the way. I'm just going to point cut deeply into it. Now, every section from here is going to be over directed to that first section, and that will give the fringe more of a drop, more of a gradual feel to blending in with the sides. Or bangs. Repeat the same on the other side. Just over directing everything back to that first section. Once again, creating a forward graduation on the haircut. Now, all the clips have been removed, and all we're doing is just point cutting the layers on top into the length on the sides, and any overhang or any disconnection that's too severe, we're just going to take that off, like so. More point cutting. Don't know if you have noticed, but we have changed location. We're no longer in a big massive shop. We've downsized, and yeah, life's a lot easier, a lot less stressed, and we're just going to try and get back to the fun things. Cutting hair, get more videos out, spending time with friends and family. All the joys down to COVID. Fucking point cut that. Now, favourite thing in the world. Let's get the fucking texturizing razor out. Very gentle incisions from mid-length to ends. Now the secret with this is it's not like normal layers or normal sections where you use a bit of the previous hair from the previous section. You really only want to razor the same bit once. You don't want to go over it, because what you're going to end up is basically very straggly ends, a lot of bulk where you don't want it to be, and far too thin where you do want it to be thin. But it is an amazing tool for taking weight and bulk and just visually creating shape rather than using a brush scissors and getting quite a heavy set line. Just working through them sections. You can be as quick or as slow or as delicate or as rough with this. Also depends on the blades. You know, you can be a lot more safe and a lot more secure with a kind of half dull blade. Just take into account you put a brand new blade on it, you're going to be slicing through that hair like butter. And now we're starting to see the shape of the haircut forming. And Glen's hair is quite, you know, very dense, with a nice bit of natural movement in there. So we're just looking to take that weight out without going too crazy on it, which will cause it to get puffy or big, but enough that, you know, we can start it with mousse or a light wee bit of wax when it's kind of half dry, half wet, and just leave it be, and it'll hold that shape beautifully. Pretty much just mimicking the same layering and shaping patterns that we did to cut the hair, and we're just bringing that through. And just visually checking in the mirror how everything's coming together, looking and fitting. everything was looking good, but the sides just felt that wee tiny bit too bulky. But we didn't want to jeopardize really too much of the length, just in case it really got wide very quickly. And then the only other option would be then is to keep cutting it shorter to get rid of that bulkiness. So I'm just using the scissors very, very gently opened, facing down the hair, and we're just going to be making really small incisions in the hair itself. It's just another form of point cutting. But for this, ideally your scissors would be very sharp and not serrated. And once again, just visually looking at where it's too thick, too thin, and where it needs a wee bit of extra help, a wee bit of extra movement. Just bring that forward. We're just gonna, you guessed it, more point cutting. Because why the fuck not? As you can see there, we didn't take much length off. That was just shorter bits throughout the hair. More feeling the hair. That area in particular, you see me twisting it. That's where a lot of the excess bulk was sitting. So that's just me going through the texturizing razor to take a wee bit more that heaviness out of the ends, just to free up the movement in the hair. That was my doggy Walter. He's got a treat. He was buzzing with himself. Now we'll just put on some texture spray, and we're using a diffuser just to go through and create a very, very light bit of movement, just letting the hair naturally do what it wants. Lessons were learnt today. Pull your fucking treasures up, Chris. As you can see then, just using that diffuser just to gently encourage the hair to do what it naturally wants to do. Now, all I've got is a wee bit of Define Cream, which is like a very, very soft water-based wax, and I'm just really just scrunching that into the hair. The hair still got a lot of moisture left in it, but as you can see, the haircut's looking good. She really suits it in comparison to how much I cut off. That was a big jump. So I'm just having a wee look, just to make sure there's no long bits or any wee random bits that just aren't sitting, or flatter or smoother than other bits. You know, just you're checking for conformity. And I'm just walking through with my client how her hair looks and the different styling options, as in tucking bits behind your ear to make it look a bit shorter, feel a bit shorter, without actually having to cut it crazy short where it becomes uncontrollable. And that is the finished product. If you have any questions or any recommendations, any advice, any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And thanks for tuning in.